What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so look, um, I'm not even going to entertain this with some type of argument because, as we all know, this is ridiculous. Okay, we all know what this is. This is just an attempt by the most ravenous, extreme fans of LeBron trying to put misinformation out. It's all about all roads go back to Michael Jordan. That's just what's all about. I'm not even, like I said, we all know what time it is with this. We know that any assertion that Scottie Pippen had a higher peak than Kobe is that should warrant you to never be allowed within the bowels of basketball talk, social media, blogospheres, any of that. But that's not what I'm on here for. What I'm on here for is as far as this particular video is, it's not even about arguing that point because it's stupid and I won't even entertain it. It's the damage of Letrolling, okay? Because that's what this is now. It's Letrolling. This is rage bait, the term that's out there now. This is the strategy of putting out the most ridiculous arguments. See, 10, 15 years ago, well, even 3-4 years ago, this wasn't really commonplace. Like, most of these dudes would be like, okay, at least my argument has to make sense. But people are so stupid now, and people are so spiteful to the point where it's not even about arguing an actual point. It's about pushing an agenda by all means necessary, even if it means putting out misinformation. And that's why a lot of extreme LeBron fans downplay learning history. They hate people like me. They hate people like, sports and fitness rants. They hate people like Ticket TV. They hate people like Dreamers Pro. They hate us because we are for not trying to brainwash you like they are, but for you to, at very least, know the history of sports, know the history of the NBA, know the history of whatever you're talking about. Because, see, the more educated you are, the more of a threat you are to the legenda. Because it's based on false premises. It's based on all of that stuff. Misinformation, cherry picking, straw man arguments, all of that stuff. But the danger of it, let me get to this point because I don't make this video too long because I don't even want to entertain this too long a video. The danger is, and when you have a young, misled, or uneducated in the sense that they don't really know the history of basketball, which is why if you look at even venues that used to talk about the history, look, 10 years ago when I first learned about fadeawayworld.net and some of these other sites, especially Fadeaway World, they actually had articles talking about players from the past. But over the years, a certain entity started having more and more influence to the point where the writers over there now are just pushing the agenda. And it's all about him. Even if articles about another player, they're going to find some angle to include him in the conversation. And it's all about destroying the legacy of Michael Jordan. Now it's down. Now it's not even about Jordan. They're trying to destroy Kobe Bryant now. As tacky as that is. But then again, remember, this is the same group of people that interjected his tragic death in a sports narrative. when they won the championship 4 years ago. Well, going on really 5 years ago now. That's how tacky they are, disgusting. But yeah, they want this group of younger basketball fans to be totally misled, totally misinformed, uneducated about the history of the game. So it makes it easier to manipulate them and have them believing, false information and falling for the Kool-Aid. That's what they want. And you can hear it with some of the things some of these players are saying. And even some of the guys who should know better. If you keep browbeating people with the same misinformation, they start repeating the same talking points. Remember, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, people loved Russell Westbrook. They loved him. He didn't get any hate. As soon as he joins LA, look what happened to him. He went from being a superstar to a role player to a guy some people question whether he's a Hall of Famer. He gets all this unnecessary hate. Magically, he's the only dude that gets hated on for turning the ball over at a somewhat high rate. Meanwhile, who averaged 4 turnovers in the Olympics? Nobody cared. Caitlin Clark's turning the ball over everywhere, which way, every game. She probably had like 50 turnovers the last 4 games. Nobody cares. Trae Young's turned the ball over every other which way in ATL. Nobody cares. That's what they do. And that's why you'll have people agreeing that somehow Scottie Pippen, a guy who begged Michael Jordan on national TV to come and save him, somehow he has a higher peak than Kobe Bryant, a guy that in a very competitive Western Conference took a team that had no other all-stars to the playoffs. This guy had like 20 of the team's 40. He was credited basically due to win shares with almost 20 of the team's 45 victories. Meanwhile, Scottie Pippen played in the weakest single season in the Eastern Conference in the 90s. Because he did benefit from that. Played with a Hall of Famer, Tony Kukoc. 2 All-Stars that year in Horace Grant and B.J. Armstrong. And they still failed to get out of the second round of playoffs. I'm trying to figure this one out now. Well, how can you even make this comparison? Anyway, that's all I got to say about it, man. These guys, I shouldn't even make this video, to be honest with you, man. To be honest with you, I shouldn't even make this video, but I just had to put this out there, man. Now it's the trolling. I'm not doing any more of these. This is it. If I keep seeing stuff progressively get worse than this, as far as comparison, let them wallow in their own misery. Ridiculous. What sports debate has turned into.